right now preparing, and we're live on Facebook. And let me make sure I do the panel view so we can see everybody just as a, that we see us together, but whatever you want to share. Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm going to give a quick introduction and warm welcome to everyone. Kavita is calling us out. Anyway, I'm giving a quick introduction. We have an impromptu bonus webinar that Kavita and I are doing on the topic Money Freedom 123, which we're doing inspired by the Money Freedom Masterclass we're currently teaching. We had the first class that we just did, and two other ones are coming up. And Kavita got just yesterday the inspiration, let's do a bonus webinar for everyone publicly, because it's such a big topic, and it will give participants of our class the opportunity to play and to have a hot seat, and you as well. So if you just catch this now, if you are a soul-preneur, impactpreneur, you have some issues around your money story, it feels heavy to you, maybe it's not fully flowing, you don't know why, this is the perfect place to be. This webinar here is free. And you have the option to jump on a hot seat with us live. We do, both Kavita and I, we do soulful intuitive coaching, and we do it in a playful way. It's going to feel playful, yet we're going to call you out. So if you're ready to play big with money, you're in the perfect place to be. So you see the Zoom link in our Facebook post if you feel inspired to jump on live. And if you catch this as replay or just want to watch on Facebook, that's totally fine. We love to see your comments. Just be aware that we will not get to the Facebook comments until afterward. So yeah, yes, awesome. That's it, right? Kavita, do you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Well, welcome everybody. Astrid did such a good job at remembering all the details, and here we have another attendee, Dish. Welcome. So yeah, I'm just letting you guys know, reminding you again, this is going live. It's going to be public, and so you have the option to be on audio, video, or chat, and so, yeah, we're playing big here, and welcome everybody who's catching the Facebook streaming and the replay. We're so glad that you're here. It all makes a huge difference that you're choosing to show up and to play big, basically. Yes. That's what you're doing. Yes.
Yes. So, Kavita, I know you get lots of information channeled these days around that. Like the last class was purely magical. You're just like, this is what we're doing. So I want to, can I give a super quick synopsis of what happened so far, just the essence, and then you can take whatever comes to you. This first class was amazing. I actually just rewatched the whole thing last night, and I took so many notes. I have like my money love journal here, and I just like had all these things that I was celebrating, and as I was journaling, I got epiphanies. So I'm just giving a few pointers, and then I give Kavita a place to run where anybody, whatever you want to take it from here for further inspiration. So we had a really cool inspiration that money is almost like a coin, and it has two sides. One is like the love side, and the other one is the scarcity, lack side, right? And Kavita had this really great gem that came to her that it's all already here, right? But we can choose which side we polish or focus on. So there was a lot of that awareness and shifting that happened in the call, that we can literally in any moment choose where what we focus on, and that grows, right? And for me, as I was journaling, I'm just sharing that glimpse, because there were a lot of other big things that showed up to play with in our first class. One that I got as an epiphany was this playground that we talked about. Well, how can we create those feelings of luxury and of like love around money, right? So I played with that, and I got a bunch of ideas of how I can create this in live right now. And then the big epiphany for me was that I have the choice to create the feeling of luxury and abundance in every single moment with everything I do, right? So like, it's like for me right now, if I drink this coffee, I can totally savor it and enjoy it and feel like a millionaire doing that. And that's like, I'm giving the ball to you now, Kavita, but that's like a big essence of the playground that we had. That, yeah, go ahead, Kavita. And I'll take notes as well.
Awesome. So yeah, and so Deej, I feel that you're gonna come up with questions. That's great. I'm gonna invite you in just a minute. What I wanted to say, if you guys haven't caught the full class for the first one and you're interested, just message Astrid and I later. Any one of us will have it sorted out for you. Or maybe Astrid, you can also share a link if you have it right now. If not, just contact us. It's not a big deal. The next
message
one,
us, yes.
Yeah, that is a paid recording, but it's pretty cool, and you'll feel the energy in that and have that shift. This call and the intention for this call is for anybody who hasn't caught the first call just yet. But you're in that energy to shift it. I felt guided to give this bonus space. So wherever you are, you can bring your things to the table, and we'll definitely address it and shift the energy with that. So yes, so I'll jump right into the question, and then I'll also share a little material towards the end. Go ahead, Deej. You had something for me? I saw that you're unmuted, that's why. Are you there? My little one is asking, is your computer frozen?
Yeah, so if you're on Zoom, Deej will see you here, so you can just start talking. Or if you prefer, you can also type your question in the chat that we have here. And that goes for all of you. We can take you in sequence. If you feel called to jump on the hot seat, just say yes, yes in the chat, or speak up whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So while you guys are doing that, just let me know, just give an indicator. And one of the things that I wanted to say here is that we're on that brink, we're on that energy level to changing our money story, right? It's something that we're consciously aware of, or at least it's at the back of your mind there, where you have the awareness that this is something that you're playing with. You've got to change. Maybe you don't like the patterns. You see yourself doing something over and over again that you don't like. It would be cool if you want to mention one of those things, because I can immediately tap into that and be able to show that to you and reflect how that's happening. Astrid, maybe we can start with you. Is there anything?
Yeah, I was just going to suggest that. I'll be your guinea pig. If nobody wants to play big yet, I'll do it. So tell me, what do you want to ask me, or what do you want me to share?
Sure. So what is like one of the things that you saw yourself tripping over as a pattern when it comes to money? Like, what was one of the things?
So for me, it came through in that visualization that we did, where we were looking at shadow sides and like old stories. So I was like sitting with that, and for me, what showed up was I had to do a little bit of forgiveness work around things where I invested a lot of money in myself. So there were still a little bit of stories from that. And then there was one, I'm just going to give you a quick brain dump, and then I know you'll pick whatever shows up. One thing that showed up, it was just really cool. Like some random stories kind of showed up. There was this one childhood story where I was traveling with my parents, and my dad had bought me this treat of a really luxurious dessert, right? And when my mom came back and she saw it, she had this freak out moment. She's like, oh my gosh, we cannot afford this. This is terrible, blah, blah, blah. And so this story was like such a marking point for me that I carry with me like so much. But yesterday I was like, I was looking at this story from a place of curiosity. And then I suddenly thought of the flip side of the coin, right? And I just realized, oh my gosh, I just need to say thank you, because that dessert tasted amazing. That's all I had to do. So I kind of played with that, and I feel pretty good right now, but I would love to hear what you feel comes up, or call me out, like, no, there's something deeper that you're not sharing.
Sure, definitely. I'm seeing 7 people on Facebook Live, 8 actually. So welcome. I just want to say we're curious about what's your money story. What's the thing that's you might find yourself tripping yourself up with, like a pattern, if you're aware of it, or like if I ask, what is your money story? What's the first thing that comes to mind? So that's what I want to know. You guys could share in the live stream, Facebook live stream there as well. We may get back to it after the chat. And if it is possible, we'll address it right here live on the call. So we'll do that as well. And for the guys who are here in the panelists and participation room here, you guys can also share and we'll jump right into that. So Astrid, I heard the feeling of guilt basically that you were getting in spending money. And how many of us have been there where we spend money and we're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't pay for that thing, maybe I should assign it to the other thing, so for instance, maybe rent is more important than me giving myself this, and yet like buy a dress, I'm just making a simple suggestion here, and yet you go ahead and find yourself buying the dress and you don't pay the rent first. Like sometimes we have that kind of pattern. We may do the right thing, quote unquote right, or we may jump into a self-sabotaging pattern like that where we overspend. So this is a huge topic, and I'm so glad that you're bringing it to the table, Astrid. I want to give a shout out to my friend, Dr. Carolyn. She also spoke about this today, and it's so insightful. I'm so amazed at how the universe works, because when there's a topic on the table, it shows up for the entire day.
Everywhere, right? Yes. I can relate to that. We get so many signs.
So it's all perfect, and it's so beautiful when you get to see that. So you guys, here it is, you're having that thing you've got to spend. And what happens? You're in that space where you're looking at, well, I only have $100, for instance, right? And I've got to spend these things. Maybe I'm only spending 50 today. And so you're spending, but your stomach might be in a space of, or you feel really uncomfortable, and it becomes like, I have to, this is a bill that I have to pay. It's due today. It's, that rock and a hard space kind of feeling, right? And then, I love it, Jeej. Great. And then the other part of it is that you may have a bill and it's $110. And you're like, well, I only have $100. What am I going to do there? Right? What's happening is that you're looking at evidence of your reality. Your reality is actually evidence of the past. All right? And so you're taking that past evidence and you're trying to apply it to your future of what you want to spend, because your desires are growing every day or changing. As you fulfill some desires, some new ones come into place, right? So desires are actually future oriented, and you're trying to apply your past to your future. I mean, think about it globally. That hasn't really worked out so well for us, right? But when you look at history and you try to apply your past to your future, there are things that are meant to be learned from the past. Right? And once you honor the lessons and you...
Otherwise it's repeated.
Yes. So you're empowered to change, make a decision here and change the thing and then impact your future, right? So you cannot possibly look at all the ways in which you've been creating money and try to do the same ways of creating money and expect to have a different result.
That is so powerful. I love that you say that. Yeah. Ooh, right. People take notes. Yeah.
So go ahead. If it is that you've been applying for the job or a certain kind of job or whatever the heck is, I mean, you've probably been laid off from the job or fired from the job because your universe is giving you a sign to say, hey, you're playing too small. I want you to play bigger. You have bigger things to do. You didn't come here to, do a mediocre job kind of thing.
Yeah, that happens a lot, actually. That just happened to Kavita and I too, where we're like on a mission to expand and grow bigger and make a bigger impact. And our our clients suddenly, like some of the clients start disappearing, right? While new ones are showing up. So I love that you bring that up, that seemingly negative things are actually a reflection that something is shifting. And it's just kind of like the universe calling us out, like, hey, do you really want your dream? Keep going. And like to realize that it's not a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing, and to just keep going, like see it as encouragement. So again, like looking at the good side, right? Like where we want to go, and like what can we learn from a place of curiosity.
Yeah. Hey Naomi, hey Olivia. So you guys, I love how Astrid is able to take it and also apply it. She's like, I give the example of the job and she just shifted it right into the coaching world. So there you are. You needed to hear that angle too. So for all of you there. But intuition is also important, right? Yes. Intuition is also the space where, hey Denise, where it is that you're able to recognize what is it that you keep going towards, right? Because if we're just in our logical mind, then that is the thing that trips us up. The logical mind is there to help us to create the action after we know where we're going, right? Right. But the intuition is the thing that shows you where you're going, or at least tells you which direction to move in. All right. So I hope that's been helpful. I'm going to go right to your question now. Is there something?
Yes, Deej had a question. No, this is great. I just want to, this is why I keep looking at the phone every now and then. I want to acknowledge everybody too. We're fully present with all of you. And I'm actually going to put my phone down now in a minute, because Kavita is super good at like catching things. But anybody who is just on Facebook, and if you do want to be live, part of our conversation, use the Zoom link that we have. We're live right now. So you could just hop in and you could actually ask your question in the chat, and you get a live hot seat. So I just wanted to put that out there real quick. And we have somebody here, Deej, said a question. Kavita, do you want to jump to that one?
Yes, that's what I was going right to. So Thank you for the reminder with the Zoom links. You guys, you can join us too. Why do women feel guilty about wanting money, yet it's okay for men to pursue it? Men are required to have it, but women are supposed to just get by. And I love that you're bringing this up, because yeah, this has been like a whole super masterclass we have done about the feminine and masculine energy and how that works. But to bring this quite powerfully to this question is that it's true. Women feel guilty in wanting money, right? And men, they're not necessarily wired the way we are, because when they have that nudge to do something, they just cut to this chase and just do the thing, right? The action is so easy for them. We have the filter of emotions and that kind of stuff. And when we get into the emotional state, if it's not like in a space of flow and there's some sort of shadow work to be done, then we also engage our logical mind. And when those two wheels are spinning in the shadow energy, then it gets all out of control, and we create these self-sabotaging patterns and beliefs, right? And we continue to spiral in that way. So we will come up with all sorts of things of, oh my gosh. Basically, one of our biggest things, women, is like, oh my God, I'm not good enough, right? And then when we have that belief, then it's like, well, I'm guilty to receive this money or this gift from you. And we start to push it away and like, oh, no, but you couldn't give me that thing, right? And we behave in this way. So right now, you guys, I would love for you to check and see your patterns of, is there any point, like when is the last time that somebody might have wanted to offer you something, and it's something that you actually value and would want in your life, and you're like, oh no, thank you, because you believe that it should not come from that person, right? And yet it might be the thing that you've been praying for, right? You've been praying for this thing,
or whatever, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Astrid.
Yeah, whatever else came up for you to not receive it, right? Because those are the mind stories that if you're aware of those, and then you can catch them and look at them like, oh my gosh, what can I learn here? Is this really true? So, Deja, I wanted to say something too that came up, like with your question of why women feel guilty about wanting money, yet it's okay for men to pursue it. Men are required to have it, but women are supposed to just get by. So what I got as inspiration to share is like, there's this thing, society conditioning and lifetime conditioning and history conditioning, right? Yes. Yes. Oh, hey, we hear you. Welcome. So that's a big load that we're carrying if we choose to keep carrying, right? So, but it's, if you reframe that and look at the other side of the coin, we can also choose to, hey, I want to let that go and polish the positive side. So for example, if you take that thought and just look at it real quick, you can tell yourself like, well, is that really true for me or not, right? And whenever that thought and that feeling comes out for you in any decision, like what Kavita was saying with the example, let's say something shows up that you totally love to say yes to, but then you have this thought of feeling bad. If you catch that thought in that moment, you have the choice, right? It's like having a butterfly on your hand, like, what do I do with this now, right? So then you can choose to take it on or not. And we always have that power. And I think for so many years, yes, we practiced and have in ourselves a lot of that we did not take that power because it was suggested to us in so many ways, and shown to us like, man, take the power, whatever. But we can shift that, and we already are. And you can already, like, if it's easier for you too, you can use role models who are living that already. Like, there's been women in history for a long times already who had the power. So choosing what we focus on. Kavita, I feel you got some stuff coming up.
yeah, and I love it. So the other part of it, recognize that the guilt that we're having is also a choice. We're actually choosing that experience. We're buying into that pattern, right? Because it's something that's prevalent in the air, in the, you know, reflections with other women, and then we're like, oh, maybe I should feel that way too. And then you easily buy into that, and then you don't even know why you're doing it. And sometimes it's linked to a really strong pattern from your childhood. You know, like you saw mom, dad, and aunt, somebody played out something that triggered that pattern. And so rather than feeling bad about it, now I don't want you to feel guilty about feeling guilty, right? That is not helpful. It's like looking at it to see, wow, I've had this pattern I feel guilty about. Now it's only showing up because it's giving me an opportunity to heal it, right?
Right.
The first step to healing anything is awareness. Go ahead.
It's only been recent that I realized, well, maybe 2 years, which is not long at all, that I realized no one's coming. Like, there's no one coming to save me. There's a whole Jesus Christ thing. That's a whole nother thing. Yes. So I was taught, and I can't even pinpoint who taught me this. It's just in the air. I don't know. You know, the whole Cinderella thing. Maybe it's the books we read, that someone was going to come and everything was going to be okay.
Yes.
No one hasn't come yet, but even the person I have, they can't do everything. They have their responsibilities, and he has a bit of a modern mind. So that doesn't help me in my old thinking, as if women are supposed to have stuff. First of all, because his exes.
Oh, you just muted yourself, I think. Deej, do you want to mute yourself and finish that sentence? You just like.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I guess I touched it by accident.
That's okay.
So it's a recent thing for me to realize, well, Nadej, you're it. And that's why you see me, I guess you could say, acting desperate, whatnot, because I'm realizing it's recent, and I have to do something about it, because no one is going to save me financially or whatever. That it's up to me. It's been this long. You know my age. I'm not going to repeat. It's been this long. It's me. No one is coming to save me, obviously. And it's not today. I'm it.
So can I say something super quick, Deej? I want to call you out, Deej. So this is so awesome that you're here. And what I hear you say is like that nobody's coming to save you yet. You are here and you're getting help, right? So I'm going to give you a reframe. Like, what it took for you was like to ask for it and to step up and say like, oh, wait, this is not serving me anymore. So now I'm going to like help myself or get help, whatever it is, right? And like even just by being here, you're doing something for yourself to shift it, and then help shows up. And that's kind of how manifesting works too, like asking and then receiving. It's all part of the game. So I love that you're here. Kavita, do you want to like take her, because I feel like there's some powerful shift that can happen right now.
I think that the question is, what's the supplement? Am I phrasing it right? Is if I know the universe provides, but it's almost as if like men were it, but now they've evolved to become their supplement to the income. I know it sounds horrible what I'm saying, but it's truth for a lot of us. But I don't have a supplement. Yes, there are people who've been kind to me and giving me stuff. It's really, really nice. He's giving me stuff and really nice to me, but it's not, you can't really consider, I'll speak for myself. There's no supplement. It's not Nadej. You make 100. I'm just giving out a number. You make $100 a month, and some nice guy's gonna come along who loves you is gonna supplement the rest. It's not happening. I'm it. There is no supplement.
Yeah. So I love the space you're in, because it's a huge shift from where you have been before. And what I hear from you is power. Like you're finding your power, and I want to really honor you for that. Right now, this what you're bringing up on the topic. Based on this call, it's almost impossible for me to like cover all the things that will solve that, but you're on it with the energy of recognizing that you get to have this thing where you can ask, and the way that you ask and you trust your intuition and work with people and do different things, and you create channels of income, right? That's what that's it. Yes. And then you also get to receive. So receiving is also associated with the feminine energy, and you might find that like, as males and females, we both have masculine and feminine energy. Okay. All right. And so it's recognizing when you're in your masculine energy, when in your feminine energy, and when it is you're in your wounded masculine and when you're in your wounded feminine, right?
Which one's gonna give me more money? Sorry, just kidding.
Right. But it's learning to have that integration of all these parts. So you're healing the woundedness, and you're having that divine masculine and feminine energy flow. And when they can work together, it's a beautiful thing about having all the things show up for you, and not having burnout. Because when you're in your wounded feminine, you sometimes take that power and you drive and you push through all the things and you make the money and you can become a billionaire, but you're also experiencing burnout. So that's the flip side. When it is that you're in your masculine, you might be like overstepping on people's toes. You do all the things that make the thing happen, right? You drive and you get that money too, but there is no happiness and joy in receiving the money. So that's when you're in your wounded masculine, and that's how you know, right? The wounded feminine energy is just like tired, burnout, like, oh my God, this is hard, this is heavy, because she's doing something that the wounded feminine is not meant to do. Now, the flip side of that is when you're able to communicate with your divine masculine energy, that part of you that you're tapping into this power, and that's why I'm bringing the conversation at this level. It's because you're able now to say your divine feminine is, hey, I would love to have, and I know these are real things for you, right? I would love to have time. I would love to have a space to relax. I would love to, have pleasurable experiences, like having conversations and being available for calls like these, because I know you love them. And so that's your feminine energy. And so your masculine energy is going to step in to say, oh, of course, I can provide that for you. We can make that possible. Here it is that, I can do these things and it can bring in the money, and you can also get to have these experiences. Right now in your energy field, what I'm feeling is that you're feeling it's an either or. Like I either get to be that person or this person. I don't know how to be both.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly how I'm feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a learning curve with that. So actually, and I'll mention it here. So I have that tapping into intuition class, and Dash, you're also a part of it already. I know you're now getting into the space of receiving the classes because you've had a lot happen for you. Yes. But for anybody else, there's also that class. We're starting it again in April. And so for you, if you've already joined, you just get to join all the new classes for free, because you just make that one payment when you would have started. And if it is that for the other folks, if you're interested in that, you can tag either Astrid and we can do that. But that program is also about this kind of energy and getting those two parts for you to work very well and to communicate. All right.
Okay.
So that is it. And I do it in a way that is personalized to you. So it's not like a cookie cutter solution that I can give on this call and say, hey, this is the thing that you do and that's it. I will check whatever patterns are coming up for you personally and address that with you so that you personally integrate that and have that shift in yourself. So I'm just putting that out on the table because it came up.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Hey, Elena, I'm so glad that you're here. But yeah, if you're in that space, what do you do in this moment? It's first, like I said, check in with your intuition, with what is coming up, what you're guided to do, and then take the action, take the guided action. Like, oh, I see I got that nudge to reach out to this person or to apply for that job or to do this thing. I'm doing that and I surrender. I let go of the outcome. Astrid does creative, intuitive drawing, so she's going to explain that in a minute. I let go of the outcome, and you're having that faith and connection and belief in yourself, right? That you know that if you want something, you also have the ability to have it. And so this is this firm belief. Like sometimes we forget that. Like when when you speak the word, it happens. And sometimes as humans, we forget that power. And when we forget it, it doesn't happen, right? Or sometimes we get really good at creating what we don't want because we spend so much energy focusing on what we don't want. So we're also powerful creators in that way.
Perfect segue to my drawing. So I, as we were having the hot seat, and we'll go to Allison in a second. And anybody who still wants to jump on, I think we have space for one more person. If you catch this on Facebook and want to grab a hot seat too, come on Zoom. Just saying that real quick. The link is in the Facebook post. Just hop on in and we'll put you in line. So Deej, we haven't met yet, but I do intuitive drawings where I tap into my intuition and normally close my eyes or just look somewhere else, and I pick colors and then I draw to a topic, and then it means something. So I'm going to share what came like super quick. It's not a super in-depth one, but I think it's a perfect question, and it's really bright here. Let me tune that a little bit out. This should be perfect. Okay, so I asked the question, what does Deej need to see right now? That was a question, and then I just drew, and the following colors showed up. We have this adventure energy color, which is my tropical azure color, which is so cool. And then we have white here as a square that showed up, and it showed up as an arrow. So I'm reading it like weather forecast for the soul kind of thing. And I don't know if you can see this. If not, Deej, you can catch the replay, or I can message you the picture if you message me. So we have this arrow, and then it leads to a heart, and the heart is in silver color, which is a color for magic, and actually manifesting as well. So so as I'm reading this, for you to see right now is like you start here, you tap into your adventure energy, which it sounds like you're already in it, because you're claiming this power and you're leaning in. So keep on that path, but then you need to find a space of possibility. So the white color here stands for the energy of like seeing that anything is possible. It's like this bird's eye view where you look down on the earth and you see like, oh my gosh, I can do anything, like other people are too, whatever. So really feeling that, creating that for yourself, and going through that space. And when you come out of that space, you will be literally connecting with your heart and manifesting magic. You need to, I call this the sparkle frequency. It's like basically clearing the things that don't serve you from your limiting patterns and thoughts and energies and hurt and all that stuff. If you go through the space of possibility, creating that for yourself, and I guess like Kavita was saying, like we can't do that just like a snip of a finger. It's a little bit of work, and like keep looking at it. But if you do that work, however you do it with coaching or on your own journaling, or doing things that give you that perspective and releasing those things that don't serve you, then you literally connect with heart magic and manifesting magic. That's a baby. Right.
And you know what I love? That she was jumping out of the box, like the square that I saw. It's like all the construct and the traditional ways of it, and she's aiming straight to the heart. a heart is showing up now. You're leading with a heart. It's very powerful, and you're stepping into that world of possibilities rather than what you were confined to. So Astrid, that's a perfect drawing. And I'm glad that you haven't met her yet, because that makes it even more perfect. Because I know her, more of her backstory. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know anything about you. This is awesome. Thank you so much for playing with us, Deej. I love it.
Thank you.
Before you go, Deej, like, do you want to say how that resonated? What are you pulling for yourself as walk away from this hot seat? I would love to hear.
I like what Kavita said about the combination of the masculine and feminine, that it's not just one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I'll have to figure that out, or take a class, whatever, to figure how to do that.
Yeah, that's truly where magic is. I can speak for that. A lot of it keeps coming to that for myself too. Also with the money game, truly gem, worth gold.
Yeah, because I've had it said to me by other people, like, oh my goodness, calm down. Like, you're not getting this, you're not getting that, because you've got this aggressive man thing going on. You got to be a little bit more feminine, and you will get what you want from people if you're a little bit more feminine. And then I get the other side as well. You got to, you have to be aggressive to get what you want, to get more money. So it gets very confusing. Well, who I'm supposed to be? I don't know. What am I supposed to be?
Yeah, and oh my gosh, so this this is a perfect drawing for you. As you're speaking, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay.
So like you can almost picture like your divine masculine and feminine together in a loving relationship. So your inner both sides, like the feminine who is like all about being and receiving, she's the queen, right? And she asks, and then the male divine who's like the action part, who carries out those things to make her happy, right? So if you have those in harmony, then you can basically state your wish, and then you shift into the masculine, and you do those things that inspire, that they will help you, and that they can work in harmony without any big like feelings of hurt. So that's your release part, like releasing those. So it sounds like you're on the perfect path of like seeking how to create that love union between your inner king and queen. And Kavita's intuition class, I can just say, like, I'm in that class actually, and it's exactly like a huge part of it. Talk with her about that.
And you're there already, so you can catch the replays. I know you're in a space where now you're able to receive it, so it's there for you. And of course, you can also join the live that's happening in April. So depending on the timing and stuff, if not, you catch a replay. So it's so perfect. You have all the resources already at your fingertips, and I can't wait to see how this is going to unfold. So we'll keep an eye on your journey as well, and we're here for you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Deej. Allison! Oh my gosh, you're next. I can't wait. So Allison said yes to the hot seat. So Allison, if you want to unmute yourself, and if you want to share the video, we're inviting you, but it's optional. Or you can post your question. All yours. Go ahead.
Awesome. Hi, Astrid. Hi, Kavita. So good to be here. I think my question is, like, I notice that there's times when money is really flowing for me and I'm really in my power. And then I have these big gaps, spaces where, like, I'm not really sure. Like, I kind of have a sneaking suspicion of what's going on, but it's hard to see myself, obviously, as I'm, like, living my life. I've done, like, a lot of, belief work and digging and seeing kind of, like, what are, some of the fundamental core beliefs. And I did really get down to, like, that, there's this core belief that I can't trust myself. And so I'll start to, like, step out and start expressing myself and start being more of myself, which I know is very much connected to my money flow, because that's something that, is part of the work that I do. It really requires that I am expressing myself and sharing myself. And I think it's just, like, fundamentally part of my makeup that that's what keeps me alive. But then all of a sudden I start to, like, step, I hold back, and I stop expressing myself, and I start going into, like, story of, like, that people are judging me, or people are not liking. And so it just feels like this really big wound. And, like, I'm so ready to get over it, but I'm not sure, because I feel like there's so many things. Like, I have this list of things, like, we had an amazing coaching call the other day, and there's this list of things that I can start doing, on Facebook, and I'm just not doing it. And I know it's because it's fear, right? It's like fear, but it's just like, I guess what my question is like, I feel like I need a routine that's specific to me to stay really deeply connected into me, because I know as like someone that's highly sensitive and I live in New York City area, like I'm constantly I wake up in the morning and all I can hear is like, this sucks, or like it's gonna be a bad day.
Oh, yeah.
So many other people's thoughts and feelings, and I'm feeling so much. And it's so challenging to stay really rooted in myself. And I know when I'm rooted in myself, like I get to be me and I feel good and I feel aligned, and like the money just naturally flows because I'm being myself and I feel good. But I feel like I'm like rooted in myself like 20% of the time right now, and it's so not working. And part of me is like, maybe I need to leave New York, like, because it's just really challenging for me to stay grounded here.
Hold on. So leave New York.
Kavita's already bursting.
Yeah, you can stay in New York all you want, and you can go anywhere in the world you want. But leaving New York wouldn't solve the problem. So the other part of it is, what I heard is that actually the feeling behind all of this for you is disappointment, right? Because while you want all these things, there's part of you don't believe, the masculine part of you, that it can deliver the things that you want, right? What the feminine energy of you is asking for, you don't believe the masculine side of you can deliver it. And so I'm hearing that disconnection in what's going on there for you. And so you find while you're in, because you're mostly in your feminine energy, while you're in flow and all of that, it's beautiful. But when it comes to structure, you're like resisting it, and no coach right now can make you do the things because you haven't solved the communication issue within yourself for these two parts. All right. So it's come to a point where when both of these parts are communicating, what it looks like is that you get to be you, be in flow, and then the structure also shows up. So it's not like, oh, I should have a perfect structure that works for me and then I can do all the things, because you know you need the structure, yes, but it has to be an agreement, and there isn't an agreement right now. You know, it's almost like the wounded feminine is like, you and your structure, you keep holding me back, out the window kind of thing, right? And that's why you're like rebellious to all the structures, and that's how it's showing up. One of the ways to do this is start with building that trust, like you said, with yourself. Have that, like, start with one little thing. How is it that I can do something that feels like, you know what, like have that conversation with the masculine part of you. You know, I would love to have this experience, and I believe I'm giving you an opportunity to do that. It's not like, hey, you've got to prove yourself. You're not being like the nagging wife kind of thing to that part of you. It's just like, you know, I would love for us to work with this again. Let it be a collaboration, right? And hey, we have Naomi from Japan. Welcome. Awesome.
What? That is so awesome.
Yes.
Oh, on Facebook. That's awesome. If you want to join us, use the Zoom link. No.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting for you. And Astrid, you also did your drawing, so I'm going to give you a minute.
Yes. So I'm just going to jump right in. Allison sharing the drawing that came up for you. And it's so funny because you were in a coaching call with us, and something so similar happened. It's like new validation again. So we have yellow, and yellow stands for your inner shine and pure joy. So that showed up, like I'm reading it from the left to the right. So it's this meandering sort of path, and this red shape showed up that is a red in a box, right? And it's covering, I'm just going like quickly, like what's showing up here. It's covering this arrow that's like huge, huge joy expansion. It's currently covering that up. And then we had a cherry show up, like a sticker, upside down. And then we have blue, again, upside down, right? And then we have blue dots. And blue, I feel in this instance, has to do with the masculine energy for some reason. Normally it's about thinking, and they may be connected. It's like this rational sort of rational part, right? So I feel like all these things, they're like dotted all over the place here around it. And they're not usually touching the yellow line. So So I'm just going to tune in and like say what comes up for me, and then I know Kavita will complete the picture. So
yes, I love it.
So hang on. So here, I feel like for you, what you need to see, and that was the question, like what Allison needs to see right now. And I just noted the self-expression that you mentioned already as part of the question. And it actually showed up in the drawing anyway. So I feel this is what you need to see is like, and I know this is your question, but sometimes seeing it again is like enough for us to just do it. I feel you already have everything in front of you. So you're stepping into your joy and just playing around, even if those rational dots are like not like on the path and totally off canter. It's like this cherry here. It's like this playful element that's totally upside down and wackadoodles. It's just floating around. So being your creative wackadoodle self, just doing that. So you're already kind of doing that, I feel, but like you have this block. And I wonder if this has to do, this is the masculine energy that's currently blocking your joy because you allow it to, no, it's not blocking. Okay, Kavita, get what you're getting here because there's joy underneath.
It has to be a fusion because it's on top. So it's not blocking, but it's wanting to be integrated.
Oh my gosh, there it is. I love it. Oh my gosh.
That makes sense to me. Like, I feel like I do have, masculine energy that I'm connected to. Like, like growing up, I played sports, and every day after school I had tennis practice, and it was like, I had that structure in my life growing up. But it was interesting, like what I'm feeling like what's coming up and showing up for me is like I'm really good at structuring things that I don't want to do. And like what you're pointing to, Kavita and Astrid, is like if I could bring some structure to my playful, joyful, intuitive side, then they could actually be dancing together. So it's like instead of like I'm so good from like my landmark training and being like, all right, like I'll make an agreement that like every day I'm going to get on a phone call with a friend to like work through some pattern, and like I'll do it, but like I'm totally miserable. Instead of being like, how could I like actually have my structures be really joyful and fun? And also like when I pick a structure, am I picking it out of a place of like a wounded masculine, which is like, I need to fix this problem? Or am I picking it from like both healed feminine and masculine, which is like, ooh, I see this juicy possibility and this really lights me up. And all I need to do is just trust that if I keep doing this or I keep following that, it will like, something is going to come out of it. Something will emerge.
Right. What I'm actually touching here for you is not first the structure. The first step is not the structure. The first step is communication. Right. And I'm so glad that we're getting to work with you as well. So you also get to have this experience where we can really put all the issues on the table and have that integrated. And so there is a beautiful communication because when that is solved, it's like solves everything. You will see that the structure and everything comes into flow. Really. Right. It's really beautiful. And I know, Astrid, you can also share a thought or two on when that integration happens, how much your world changes. So Allison, you're in the right space, and I'm glad that you're bringing it up to the forefront, and we get to do this with you. So
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome, because you guys who've showed up here for the call, it's really wanting to go deeper. Like I've shared the patterns and the things that has happened and what you can do and where the concepts are coming from. But because if you want to eradicate this like pattern for once and for all, then it does require the deeper work. And that's something we can't promise on a 1 hour call. It doesn't work.
And yes, exactly. And like 5-minute hot seat. But like I love that this is showing up. And can I quickly give like the big perspective for everybody watching too of like why this is so relevant? Like I feel this is such a great inspiration for everybody. We're talking about money freedom, right? And so as you see a lot, like I love that you both, like Dee showed up and Allison, you too, like is this a great example of like how relevant our inner work is to actually getting into that money flow. It is like and I call it the sparkle frequency, like if we have any interference with being totally lit up, totally enjoy, and totally like doing what we love, but also like Kavita is saying, like having the supportive action taking energy, like that's in harmony, where it's not like this, oh, I have to, I should, or I'm avoiding, like as long as we have some interference that doesn't feel good, however that will show up in our life, then we're holding ourselves back because we're not in the harmonious action taken flow, right? We need both. We need our full self-expression, the feminine, and we need our action taken free, masculine, who can do it from a place of love and just like, oh my gosh, of course I'm happy to do this, right? In a way that works for the inner queen. So I love how this is such a great example too for you, Allison, that and I love that, Kavita, that you said, like, yes, this is what it means. It's not the blocking, but it's like your call is to integrate both of these because they're already pointing in the right direction, right? Both are pointing forward. So now pairing these together, that you have those inner voices, like harmonious, you can fully express yourself, yet you find a way where you're not triggered by I have to do something, you're not procrastinating or postponing, but your inner masculine action taking side just like easily just like does it, like that harmony. That's your gem to abundance flow, because then you will do the things that are needed to make it happen, but also like are aligned from your heart and expressing who you are. So it's such a great example. So thank you, Allison, for showing up and like for allowing me to do this because I feel like inspire everybody. Kavita, do you want to wrap it up for everybody where we can get more support? Let's do that.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm so glad that you guys showed up. We wanted to do this bonus call to have people get an insight of what it takes. And I love that, we're creating this platform where you really get to the heart of the matter, and really healing these relationships for once and for all with the money and with the things, because it's not about this shiny object syndrome anymore. I mean, if you've played that game, you know what that feels like to keep hopping from thing to thing. Now it's a time to really go within and to sort out the parts of you and integrate them, right?
Yeah.
And this is the calling that we do, calling you out for the deeper work, like Astrid mentioned. So we have different containers and platforms for this. So it's not so much of the container, but if it is that you're ready to have this journey and to really go deep within. So reach out to any one of us and we can help you with that and show you what that looks like. Also, we're in a space of like energetically and planetarily, we can change this money story now, what's happening. So even as we talk to you, no matter where you are in your life, even if you're a millionaire, there is always a layer of a money story. There's always something there. So you get to be more and expand even more. So we're also constantly up leveling and shifting our money stories and getting to the lighter side of it, and the shadow things that come up also comes not only for us to heal, but we get to share those insights and things with you as we move forward. So I'm so honored that for everybody who showed up on the live and to show up here on the call itself. Thank you so much. Be aware that if you haven't gotten the first class and you wanted to do that, it's super powerful. So you can always let us know. We can have that available for you. And then we're also going into the next call for this, where we go even deeper. It's going to be probably a 90-minute session or so. And Astrid, do you want to share a little bit on that?
Yeah, well, actually, I wanted to share something else real quick, and we have to run in like 3 minutes. But I just wanted to quickly jump on your example of like when we can help and like how does a millionaire need help with money game? So if you are the millionaire or whatever, like money is flowing for you, but you feel any kind of heaviness, that's when we can come in, because like there is this, you can have literally everything. You can have your money flow and be fully expressed from your heart and feel good in everything you do. And if you don't have that, there's something that you're holding yourself back from like living a bigger life for yourself, like a fully fulfilled life from the heart. So whenever any of you, as you're watching this, feel heavy around money in any way, and you want to bring more fun and light and flow into your business, where abundance comes from an easy way and everything feels good, that's when we can help you achieve. So for the next class, I just wanted to say that this is like a super limited time where we're doing this money freedom class right now at this super crazy price. For like the first class is only $8.88, so that anybody can get in. Basically, that's what I wanted to share. That's like this time capsule moment right now where we're still doing that, but we're guided. Like Kavita's guys are saying, like this is the one and only time you're doing that price. So if you feel called to step into the game, we wanted to create this container for you to really up level, and our intention is that you can play big with money, and that you walk away from those 3 classes where you shifted some of your big patterns, like you feel really free, like to be able to manifest what you need to get to, so that you can say yes to yourself and everything that you need to flow forward, right? Whether it's a program with somebody else or with us to play bigger, or just getting paid bigger and regularly by clients, like all of that's the intention. What we're helping you shift, and like our classes help you get access to that work, and we're holding the space for you to do that work. We're here for you to do it with you, to get there and to release whatever's not serving you. So that's my summary. Do you have another one?
No, that's perfect, right?
Because we're channeling it.
Yeah. So the next 2 classes, we already did 1 class. The next 2 classes are happening soon, one next week, and we'll give the details for that. So if you want to know more about that, again, just let us know, and we'll give you the details for that. And then the 3rd one will show up as well. So we let you know, because the information keeps coming in, and we'll share all of that. And it's really geared towards you and what you can do at this time to change all of this. So thank you so much for showing up. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Allison, for staying to the end.
Yes, thank you all. And thank you for your comments. If you have any questions, tag us or message us directly, and we'll be here for you. Yes, and yes, Allison says she would like to come to the next class. Yes, we're totally got you. And that masculine feminine fusion that you need is actually a big part of the first class. It's perfect. So just jump in and watch it. You'll enjoy it. Awesome. Bye, everyone. Much love to all of you. Claim your freedom, and we're here for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.